We are going to talk about how to create an assignment on Google Classroom. Creating an assignment is as simple as going down here to your plus button and coming up here and clicking Create Assignment. Once you create that assignment, all you really need to do is title it. I'm just going to make up an assignment here for the sake of this explanation. EdCamp presentation, and then I can list instructions. And I'm going to show you a couple different things. One, I'm going to ask my EdCamp. In my EdCamp, I'm going to pretend that they were going to take a multiple choice quiz. And then I would like them to answer the questions attached in the worksheet. And then lastly, I would like them to create a document and explain one takeaway for the day. This part gets a little bit troublesome because I cannot show you the student page, but I'm going to kind of point out what it'll look like. But once I have the title and I have the instructions, a couple great features about Google Classroom Assignment. I can create a due date right here, and I'm going to say that it is due on the 5th. I could put a time here. I can create any time that I want, but I want this done by 3 p.m. And then once again, I'm going to go back. And we talk about it. Always give your post, whether it's an assignment, an announcement, whatever. Make sure that you assign a topic to it. So I have agenda as one topic, and then I just have I'm just going to put assignments as another topic. So that way students can filter the posts on the stream page easily. Now, a couple things to think about. You can attach files. Word documents, PDFs, everything that I have and everything that I use, I save in my Google Drive. And I'm going to show you one of the nice things that I can do with this is that if I have a Google document that I want to use as a worksheet, for example, in our academic proficiency lab, every day our students come in and they fill out a daily action plan. I'm going to attach this file for them. And then here's the key. In the drop down right here, you can set this where students can view the file, students can edit the file, or I can make a copy for each student. And this option right here is really important. You need to understand that if you give your students, if you just attach this and leave it as students can edit the file, they will all be editing the same file. But what I want is to give each student a copy, just as if I was handing out separate pieces of paper to them. So I'm going to make a copy for each student. This way, each of my students can go in, they can open up this document, they can answer the questions on the document, highlight what's needed, and you know, the students understand how to fill this out, but they would fill it out accordingly, and then they could just turn in this document right here by hitting the submit button. Another thing that I do, for example, when I have multiple choice quizzes or you know, some type of a longer quiz, I use Google Forms and the quiz maker on Google Forms. And so if I go here, I'm going to attach a form that I have previously made that I have turned into a quiz. And there's my Google form that the students can open. I'm going to go ahead and open this up right here. And anybody that's used Google Forms, this is a great way to create quizzes and assessments that are in multiple choice. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this in the video section, but if you haven't used this, this is a great option. Any form that you make, changing it to a quiz is something as simple as going over here and flipping this toggle. Once you make it a quiz, you can assign each question a point. You can give it an answer. It will grade it for you. Now, none of my students have taken this yet, but once they start submitting responses, I'm going to allow them to submit responses. It'll list each of the students individually. It will also give me class data on how well they did on each of the questions. I can also take all of the responses, just like you can in a Google form, and it easily downloads into a Google Sheet. So I use the Google Forms / quiz quite a bit when I'm using for my larger assessments. So we have that attached right here. I do not need to, because this is not a document, it's not going to give me a drop down because they're actually going to that document to take that quiz. And then lastly, they're going to create a document and explain one takeaway for the day. Now you won't see this on my page, but I am going to go ahead and assign this. And if this was the student page, they would see this assignment. And then up here, where mine says done and not done, they would have a button right up here that says open. If they opened this assignment, they would see any attachments that I've given them. And then they would also, at the bottom of this, have two options. One of the options would be to add a document, Google Slide, Google Sheets, or create a document, Google Slides, Google Sheet. I encourage my students just to use the create button. They would click on the create right here. And once again, you can't see this, but on their page it would just say create. They would click create a document, and then a Google document that would come up. The Google document would be titled EdCamp Presentation, and then it would be a dash, and it would have their name. So there would be another document attached down here. They could type their answer right to that document, and then at the bottom there is a submit button. They may submit the assignment and resubmit the assignment all the way up until the due date has expired. Once the due date has expired, they may not resubmit it. So one more thing that I want to show you is how you can personalize assignments. You're going to notice, because this is just a playground site, I do not have any students enrolled in this class right now. So if I go back here and I look at the assignment as I was creating it, my only option is for all students, because I don't have any students in here. But I would like to show you, if I go to another class that I've created assignments, if I go here and I edit this assignment, you are going to see that when I make an assignment, it's always defaulted to send it to every student. But I can change this and just send it to individual students. So obviously you understand how that might work. I have some work that I need 2 or 3 of my students to do to maybe help with some remediation or some intervention that may need to take place. Maybe I want to split assignments and give half of my class one part of an assignment, give the other class the other part. You can do this, and you can send individual assignments to a student or a group of students.